Hey y'all, it's your girl K Divine coming back with another quick message. Y'all, we gotta distance ourselves and stay away from people who are psychologically and spiritually immature. These people are dangerous in the long run because you gotta understand, like, I think I've said this before, but some people grow up and some people just get older. And a lot of times people, when they come in contact with you, I made a video about it's not your personality, it's your frequency. They're intimidated by the frequency that you vibrate on. You didn't say or do anything out of pocket to these people. You aren't flashy, you're not trying to be in anybody's way. They are intimidated by your frequency because they don't understand it. And this is what I mean by spiritually immature. A lot of these people nowadays, I mean, this has been forever, but if you're looking at it from, today's point of view, a lot of people, when they come in contact with someone that is different than them, a lot of them are spiritually immature, and they revert to like violent behavior. And violence doesn't always have to be physical. That's what I'm talking about, like psychological type of behavior, like psychological warfare, psychological violence, where they, like that gaslighting, like they create a problem so that you can have a angry outburst, or you can have, some sort of negative reaction or response, so that they can be like, oh, I didn't know, or I didn't, well, she was so aggressive, he just was so mean. And it's like, bro, you know that you started that. Like, like, I don't know if y'all have ever seen that video. It was like a suburb neighborhood, and a young boy and his friends riding their bikes on the sidewalk, not bothering nobody. And then this lady come out talking about some, get off of that sidewalk. And then she hit the boy because he told her, he was like, please don't touch me. He was very polite. And as soon as she touched him, then he was like, what the fuck? And then he started calling for his mom, respectfully and rightfully. He's like, Mom, she just hit me. He was like, she's like, yep, let's go get your mom. Mom, where are you? And then they walk up to the door, and obviously he has a camera. And then, mom comes outside, and she was like, you hit my son? And she was like, oh, well, he was trying to, he ran me over. And it's just like, it was all on video. Yeah, show the video. She knew that never happened. She knew that never happened. And she talked about, so yeah, go, yeah, let's, well, he tried to run me up. Like, nobody was doing anything to you. Like, you walked up to these kids minding their business, riding their bikes, talk about something, I'm on the board. And the mom was like, we're aware. Like, we're aware. It's that type of behavior. It's like they want you to be upset about something so that they can play the victim, or so that they can, because obviously, especially like if you're in like a work setting or something like that, like these people already are talking about you behind your back. They're already you're all over people's group chats, okay? Like, if you're like at a hotel or in like some sort of business, where you either frequent, or like I said, a hotel where you're staying at, and you like have a high frequency, the employees are already talking about you, and they already plotting against you, trying to figure out what they can do to get you upset. And the thing is that they don't even know why they don't like you. Like I said, you never said or did anything to these people. They just don't like you. And fuck them. Like, fuck them and how they feel. Because honestly, it's like, and I've said this multiple times, these people don't know how to deal with their own feelings. Because it's like, if someone's not bothering you, yet you feel compelled to harass them, you feel compelled to be, belligerent towards them, or like, you know, just attack them randomly when they haven't done anything to you. Like, that's a you issue. Like, that's a problem that they got to go figure out on their own. That has nothing to do with you. And don't take it, don't, it's, I know in the beginning it feels weird and you're just like, what is going on? I remember, like, after I left my apartment situation, and when I went into my first hotel to stay, well, not actually, it was my second hotel. I went to my second hotel because I had some weird stuff happen at the first one, but I didn't really pay it no mind. I wasn't really bothered by it because it was like, I was such in shock at that point that I didn't even, it wasn't really registered until later. But when I got to the second hotel, and like the people there, I could tell like they were not happy that I was there. And it's not because I did anything to anybody, but it was, again, it was my frequency. It's like I survived something that was designed to destroy me, that was designed to put me into, you know, a downward spiral of just forever chaos. And I mean, I'm just grateful that even though yes, there's a lot of uncertainty still in my life, like I'm grateful to at least be in this position that I'm in, and I have been for a minute. So, you know, I feel like I'm getting better and stronger throughout all of this. But I remember like some of the employees, which I did not know at the time, I didn't know it actually until I was leaving the hotel, that some of the employees lived in the hotel. And I was like, oh. I was like, no wonder why these people don't like me. Because, you know, I had started my first YouTube channel. I had started making videos around that time too. And I remember, like, if you go on my other account, my K the Truth 111 account, before I created this one, and you go look at my first video that I posted on there, I was like recording, and I was giddy and kind of happy because I was just like, wow, I just can't believe all that stuff that I went through and how I came out on the other side of that. And I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen from here, but I was just like, but I got to start doing this content. I got to start making these videos. I got to start, you know, I got to start doing what I'm being called to do. And if you go look at that video, I felt somebody staring at me, and so I look up, and there's a person at they're on the top. I think there was 3 floors. They were on the 3rd floor, and they were looking at me from their window, like with the nastiest evil eye. Just, and this was a person that I realized later on lived in this hotel as well, because I was like, these people are too comfortable here. Like, I understand living in hotels for, you know, for how, you know, a lot of the amount of time, but like these people had like decorations in their rooms and things of that nature. Like, to like, when I say comfortable, like this is like they have no intentions on, you know, finding housing elsewhere or moving. It's like these people go to a job that they have somewhere in town, and they come back to the hotel, and that's what they've been doing for quite some time. And I'm not knocking it, because obviously I'm in a similar boat, but it's like, my thing was that I always knew, I was like, this is not the end for me. This is not my destiny. This is not my end game. Like, I know, like, if I was able to, you know, before all of this happened, before, you know, all of the situations, go look at my video on There's Nothing New Under the Sun, and all the stuff I had endured the last couple of years, and the reason why I'm in this situation that I'm in now. Before all of this destruction and stuff that happened in my life, I've always had it together. You know, I've never been without some sort of job or income. I've always had, and at some points I worked multiple jobs, you know. And when I got my first corporate job, which is the one that I had to leave because of what they were doing, I was making money. I did a lot of OT for many years, and I got burnt out, you know, very quickly. And those people didn't want me there either, because they felt like I knew too much. And when you're a person who's like a natural leader, you just have natural leadership skills. And not to mention, that's what I was studying for my master's, which was leadership and organizational management, which I have a really, like, I'm really good at putting puzzle pieces together. Like, that's how my brain works. And I was like, I don't know exactly how I'm gonna, implement this into my life, but I definitely was like, I want to sell, like I wanted to create something big for myself. And I was like, I don't care how small I have to start, but I'm willing to try. And those people did not want me to succeed. And this is what I mean by psychologically and spiritually immature people, because they got violent because they didn't want that, and they used psychological and spiritual warfare against me. And they had tried to create some physical violence for me as well by trying to lure me out of the office for things, or like, oh, we're all going to such and such, or we're going to the karaoke bar downtown Ann Arbor, are you coming? Like, that's when I stopped hanging out with those people. That's when I stopped, like, because something told me like this not gonna work. And I specifically remember because there was one time that I did go, and that was in like February. Like, yeah, it was like February of last year. I went one time with one of my coworkers, and I did sing at this karaoke bar, even though nobody was really there, but I did sing, and I could already tell that he was mad that I sang, and I sang very confidently. And I remember he took me to my car, and I was explaining to him why I parked in the parking garage instead of parking in the free parking lot that was like down the street. And I was like, well, I've been SA'd before, and I'd rather go and park in a place that's well lit than in this area over here, because this is a bar that I had been to many years prior, but I didn't frequent anymore. And he was like, oh, that happens to everyone, or something like that. And that's when I realized, I was like, this person doesn't really like me. Because a person who's truly your friend, a person who truly cares about you and values you, would be like, I totally understand that, and I'm sorry that happened to you. And he just like brushed it off like I ain't say nothing. And that's also what I realized, like, yeah, these people don't want anything good for me. They don't really like me, and they're willing to push me to the edge in order to have me self-destruct and have my life turned upside down. And it sucks, because it's like, I cared about these people. I've supported these people. I encouraged them. I uplifted them. I did a lot for people, and it's like, I realized, like, people will utilize you for like entertainment purposes. That's why some people will pick on you too. Some people will pick on you because they think that it's going to be a great source of entertainment for them in their little group. And that's like high school immature. Like the popular kids would, pick on the nerdy kid that they didn't like or whatever, and they would whisper about him. I've been hearing this song. It's coming back around for me again. Nicki Minaj's Roman's Revenge. Like, I hear the mumbling, I hear the cackling, I got them scared, shook, panicking. And it's like, yeah, when people can't figure you out, when they don't know what makes you tick, that really it really pisses them off. And that's where that violence comes from. That's where they want to have that confrontation with you, just so that they can reinforce the way that they feel about you. But you got to understand that all of this shit that they feel about you is made up. It's made up. They don't even know why they feel that way about you. They have no idea. They just do. They feel like, oh, this person thinks that they're stuck up. Oh, this person thinks that they're better than everybody. And it's like, no one said that. It's like, no, you think that. You think I'm better than you. Because this is what a lot of people do. They pedestalize you, okay? They pedestalize you. They put you on a pedestal, whether consciously or subconsciously. They put you on a pedestal, and they see you up here. and they feel like they're looking up to you, and they don't want to feel like that because that makes them feel small. And it's not that you did anything. You're not making these people feel small. And I'll say this multiple times if I have to. You're not intimidating, they're intimidated. Because if you're just being yourself, walking in a room, you ain't, like I said, you ain't said nothing to nobody, you ain't did nothing. But these people are so focused on you, they feel threatened by your presence. There's something about you and the way that you carry yourself that they just don't understand. And that's what I'm talking about. They become violent. That's very spiritually immature. And the funny thing about it for me is that a lot of these people really secretly admire it, because they're just like, wow, how did this person become so confident? Because confidence isn't something that you can really fake. Because, I mean, people fake confidence all the time, but when a person who is truly, truly confident comes in a room, people can't fake how they truly feel. That those insecurities are going to naturally come out. Because that's why people start acting funny when you walk in a room. That's why eyes will come on you. That's why people will start moving around more and acting like they busy and stuff, just so that they can get a glimpse of you, and just so they can have an excuse to stare at you, because they're trying to understand what you are. To you, you look like a regular person. To you, you're just like, I'm not doing anything. Even, and like I say, even if you're like in your infancy of like your spiritual awakening, or like, on your path, or, doing whatever, even then, the fact that you have awakened to who you are, and you're listening to yourself more, and you understand like what's going on around you, and you're self-aware, that puts an aura out around you, a big aura that other people can energetically feel. And when they feel it, that it's foreign to them, because they don't possess that. They don't possess it, because a lot of people are living in that low vibrational state. They live in that surface. They're very surface level. They're not deep. They're not deep thinkers like you. And that's why a lot of deep thinkers and people who are really, really intelligent often end up being alone, and oftentimes don't have a lot of friends, and oftentimes are shunned from society, because your presence really, really irritates the masses. They don't understand you. And a lot of and people get violent when they subconsciously are aware when a more intelligent being is around them, and they go into defense mode because they feel like because it does feel threatening to them. And you are a highly intelligent being. The fact that like if you're receiving downloads from source, like the fact that you're connected with source, these people aren't connected to source, so they don't understand how it is that you exist the way that you exist. When you're manifesting and you are, working through your traumas and things of that nature, a lot of people aren't doing that. They aren't doing it. And the fact that you are trying your best to be that person, a better person for yourself, really irritates them. Because there's only two types of people in this world: people who are working on themselves and people who aren't. You're either doing the work or you're not. And when you're really doing the work, the people who pretend that they're doing the work, the people who pretend that they're super intelligent and intuitive and they just know things, the ones that pretend all the time, they can't pretend next to you. That's why they don't want you around. There's a lot of people who pretend that they're such good people. They pretend that they are 321 on this clock over here. They pretend that they are beings of the light, but really they live in darkness. Really, they be battling with demons all the time, and they demons get irritated when you come around them. And this is why I'm telling you, like, you got to try to steer clear of these people. Like, when you see what people are doing, let them. As long as it's not putting your life in danger, as long as you're okay. So these hotel situations, when I see like the staff and like other patrons are trying to, I know that as long as I can get inside of the room that I have paid for, and I can lock the door and no one else is going to come in here, I know I'm good. It's like, just stay in your room. Like, if they want to be petty, let them be petty. let them, okay? Because again, like, that makes them have to sit with themselves, because they'll go and cackle and laugh with each other, say, oh, yeah, well, I did this and that. It was gonna be funny, like, let's just watch and see what happens. And then nothing happens, because you're unbothered. You're like, okay. Like, okay, like, okay. Like, they don't get it. And it makes them have to look at themselves and be like, why are they so unbothered? It pisses them off that you're unbothered. But the reason why you're unbothered is because it's like, I have slayed bigger demons than you. Especially those of you that have gone up against whole groups of people that were coming after you. When you have defeated a whole group of narcissistic people that have tried to come up against you, these petty little games that people be playing, they really nothing. So y'all say hi to Tori. Hi, Tori. She finally came out to say hello to me today. But I'm sorry, y'all. I was just looking at how the sun is, like, my skin is glowing. Like, that's the other thing. They see your glow. You're glowing out here. You're looking good. You're hydrated. You're drinking your water. And that you can't fake that type of glow. You can't fake it. You have to go through some things and grow through some things to get that Godfidence, that glow. And heal and not be bitter. And I know how difficult it is to not want to be bitter about the things that have happened to you. It's like, but holding on to it and holding on to those people, it just gives those people power. And we can't be giving people our power. We can't be giving people our energy over them feeling some type of way. Like, they need to get out their feelings. Like, they need to go deal with themselves. Because I'll say, and I've said this before, I just find it so odd and crazy how people, they want you to be responsible for their feelings of you and also be responsible for your own feelings. Because if you were to project however you feel, or even if you were just to give them your opinion about them, they would be clutching their pearls like, oh, I can't believe you would say something like they can feel that you are like the scum of the earth. Essentially, they can feel like you are just like the worst type of person. But the minute that you rebuttal and you call them out on their bullshit, now you're public enemy number one, and you're just, they're so mean. And it's like, so I gotta be responsible for how you feel about me, and I gotta be responsible for my own feelings. You don't want to take none of that. It's all on me. Great. Great. And I mean, at that point, it's just like, okay, well, I mean, y'all can feel however you want to feel. Let them. People are allowed. I'm gonna make a video this weekend, probably tomorrow. Your feelings are valid. Your behavior is not. You are allowed to feel however you want to feel. But being disrespectful to people simply because of the way that you feel is not valid. Especially even if that person did you wrong. Even if they did do something to you, doing something back in retaliation, it still doesn't, two wrongs don't make a right. I don't know how many of y'all heard that growing up. Two wrongs don't make a right. Just because someone did something to you, they did it. And yes, it hurts. But seeking revenge, it doesn't get you anywhere. It really doesn't. It might feel good in the moment when you get the revenge, it might feel good for a couple seconds. It might feel good for a day or two. You might be able to brag about it for a week. But after a while, it's like, it really didn't do anything for you. It really didn't. It didn't do anything for you, and now you got to deal with the karma that comes with what you did to those people. But see, y'all some of these people, I'm gonna say y'all, some people prolong karma coming back to a person for the things that they've done by trying to continuously retaliate against them. Because both of y'all are just gonna end up suffering in the end. And it's like, you're putting so much energy trying to upset a person, And it's like, and just trying to get back at one another. Like, that's a lot of energy that is wasted. You're not doing anything important. So just keep focusing on yourself and keep glowing up and keep doing what it is that you need to do in order to, prosper and do whatever it is that you have been led and called to do. Because ultimately, that is, to me, that's the best revenge. If I'm being honest, I think one of the best revenge, like, that you can get is moving on from people, because they're over here stuck hoping that they left you broken. They were hoping that wherever they left you at is where you were going to stay, and when they see and find out that that's not the case, and that you're not pressed, you're not worried, you're not thinking about them, you've moved forward. I've said this before, that's why them exes, right around that time when you start healing from that situation, that's when they start popping back up. They energetically can feel it. They can feel when you are moving forward, and they don't want you to move forward. They want to keep you in those toxic cycles. If you have an ex that was toxic, and they periodically text you, or message you on Facebook or Instagram or whatever social media you're on, they're not texting you and messaging you because they miss you. They're trying to see if you're still stupid, if you'll still fall for their games, if you'll still fall for their tricks. Because if you do, then they'll know that they always got a leg in the door with you. Close them doors. Close them on all those people. Because that's psychological warfare as well. That whole, like, oh, well, I just miss you, and like, I miss us. And then you try to make shit work, and it's like they do the same shit they've been doing, because they ain't changed. These people don't change. Most people don't. They don't want to. And that's okay. And I know it's difficult, especially when you feel lonely, when you want company, when you want a hug. But you're going to get to a point where it's like fake love is not, it just don't do it for you anymore, because it's like it's not real, and it's not gonna last, and that when that person comes around, that your energy is just gonna be depleted, and that they're just gonna feed off of you so that they can go and do you dirty, and so they can finish the job to what they was trying to do. Because again, these people be hurting you. They know what they're doing, and they try to hurt you on purpose just so that they can, like, psychologically destroy you. Be like, I'm just not worth it. And it's like, your worth is not dependent on other people's opinions of you, because one day people will love you and the next day they will absolutely hate you. We see that in the media all the time. B. Simone's been getting dragged on the internet for the last couple of weeks after a couple of things have come out about her. Her podcast episode with the baby, and then couldn't even get his name out for a second, with the baby. And then sorry, I'm getting interrupted. And then also the podcast episode that she did with her best friend. And so people have been talking about those, and it's like, at one point in time on the internet, she was very beloved. People absolutely loved her, but now she's got a lot of critiques. I mean, she has for quite some time now, but it's just like, the internet people around you, it doesn't matter. They can love you one day and they can hate you the next, so you can't take none of that stuff personally or seriously. you gotta stay away from people who are psychologically and spiritually immature, because they won't be able to keep up with you, and that's okay. So that was my message, guys. Like, share, subscribe to my channel. If you would like to book a session with me, I'm offering 30-minute and 1-hour sessions. That will be in the description below. If you would like to donate to my channel, please feel free to buy me a coffee. That will also be down in the description below. And thank you for watching. If you stayed this long, you're awesome. Thank you so much. I hope to post some more content here soon for you all. And I love you guys. So shalom, family. Have a good day. Bye.